Sit over here. For the last two of them, the second one, you're out. All right, I'm listening.
Which one do you want first?
Bebe, bring me a water in a can and a glass.
You can do the government one.
Yeah, put it up here.
We can do the government one and then you can do the...
No, let's do the phone first.
No, the government is better. It's okay.
Okay.
Okay, so,
I didn't write mine, so we're gonna do yours and Bebe's.
The first one, not today, not Bebe's today. The first one,
In the glass bag.
I did is, the justice system needs to be, uncorrupted and regulated.
And how would you do that? Thank you.
Well, that's coming later in this. I also wrote like a second part to it, so like it'll talk about bribes, okay? It'll talk about bribes.
I'm sorry?
There's another bullet point that'll talk about bribes. It just
No, but justice system you think is bribed?
I mean, in the court of law.
I think that the problem with the justice system, it's basically, let me see this. It's basically the problem with the justice system. I think basically the judges have no authority over them, and they're corrupt, and then they get money to run for. They get appointed politically. So judges and sheriffs, they get appointed politically. So they need money to run. So then that's where the corruption is.
One of the 10th amendments allows a criminal or a person to choose if they want a jury or a judge.
No, it has to be a certain amount. Because when they caught me in Ohio and they lied about me,
well, yeah, that's civil
banging on the court doors, and I said I wanted the jury trial. They dropped the charges because I could have went to jail, and they lied about the whole thing. And I, with freedom of information, I requested a tape. And then I said, there's proof I wasn't banging on the doors.
Okay, for the second one.
And then they dropped the charges, so I don't have a jury trial because they're corrupt. Go ahead.
Okay, for the second one, pedophile.
So with the judges, real quick, with the judges, I think the problem is who the judges are.
Oh, I have an idea about that.
You know, it probably goes back to the old West, how they were electing judges. And that kind of made sense back then. But right now, to just be a guy, and the main problem with the judges is, so the police doctored the tape when they arrested me.
I know, you told me about how you found like they cut the seconds off.
Yeah, so I couldn't prove it that because the guy said, these fucking immigrants, they think they can come here and run the show, the cop. And then also, he went to my phone without a court order, which was illegal, and I saw him on the body camera. And then when he went to jail, they cut out the sound, because I requested the tapes. He arrested me. He said I was being disruptive, but I wasn't. I was just sitting in the parking lot. When I had a court date, they didn't want me to go to court because they didn't have the cop. So when I went to jail, he said that about immigrants. And I wanted to hear that on the video, and the video was cut out. I was like, how the fuck am I going to prove it? But then I realized they're stupid enough to leave the timer. So it goes 9:45, 10:02, or 10:07. So I was able to see that they cut it out, which was illegal. And then the judge, all the paperwork they're giving me, lying about the stuff, they had 4 different signatures. And I asked the judge, is this your signature? He said, yes. What about these other 2? And he didn't want to respond. And then they lied about a bunch of stuff. They lied about the serial number which through discovery, you get the serial number of the police officer, because it was just a traffic ticket for speeding. They lied about cop being in training in the previous 2 times. They lied about a bunch of stuff. They introduced evidence the day of the trial, which you cannot do. You got to give me time to prepare. They put a bunch of motions because they made mistakes. So the idea is, anyways, it was the most corrupt thing for something like a traffic ticket, which is insane. So they did a lot of stuff they could go to jail for. But then when I looked, what course of action do you have against the judge? Basically, there's really just impeachment, which never happens. So the judge pretty much have immunity. And unless the media is kind of looking at the case or it's somebody important, they're corrupt. Even black people, young black people, when they come in, first thing they ask them, do you want to give up your right to a speedy trial? Meaning that the state has the burden of proof of 2 weeks to prove their case. If they go over, they lose the case. Unless you give them the right to go over. And they lie about it to the people. They say, what's that, judge? And he says, oh, you just have more time to prepare your case, which is a lie. Actually, the biggest problem for them is the burden of proof. Go ahead.
Okay, so the second one is pedophiles, rapists, and traffickers should not go to jail. They should be tortured and die.
Tortured? I don't know about tortured.
Do what you did to
You
the
said
children
pedophiles, rapists.
and traffickers, like human traffickers and sex
Oh yeah, sure. Rapists, it's you gotta be careful though. If it's for sure, if it's 100%,
If it's for sure.
because women sometimes lie. What I would do for that,
Electric chair.
huh?
Electric chair.
No, not even that. The biggest problem. Get your whole chair closer. Get your chair closer. I know I want him because he's our buddy. Go.
I'm just telling him to let you so I can get more stuff to eat.
Yeah, but just put. So what it is, the problem with the death penalty I have. Make sure look at it to see if it sees everybody. Just look. Actually, I'm not important. Make sure it sees Kiana.
It can see everybody.
Yeah. So the problem I have with the death penalty, you're forcing somebody to kill somebody. Do you know what I mean? So I'm an innocent guy and I gotta kill you because you did something wrong. I don't want that on my conscience. You know what I mean? Because it's a job to kill somebody, but I don't want to have that job. And I think it's wrong to force people to have the job.
Prisoners kill all the prisoners.
No, not even that. So what I would do, like a guy like Ted Bundy, rape girls, and you know for sure that's the guy. Not for the cases that not circumstance. The guy in Colorado, they shot up people in a movie theater. So basically, you dig a hole all the way down, 10-story down, right? And there's an elevator that comes down,
Oh yeah, you told us this.
and then the doors open, the thing pushes you out, and the elevator goes up. You're in the hole because you have to be restrained for what you did. But I don't have to give you food and water. Right? So you're going to sit in a hole. If you live, you live. If you're lucky, another guy comes in, you can eat him. Right? But nobody's killing you then. You have to be restrained. But then the fact that you need food and water, somebody has to work for you. And we're not going to have that because we're not going to pay money for that.
Okay.
So another thing with that,
I'm just trying to do this quick.
yeah, we're not going to do it quick. We're going to take our time. What do you say? Yeah, I want to say something else about this. So the elevator pushes you down. Oh, yeah. The fact that people say you don't have the right to take a human life. That's the argument against the death penalty. You don't have a right to... I'm not taking a human life. I'm not. I'm just putting him on a hole. He has to be ashamed. Well, it's not humane to not give him food and water. It's like, well, is it humane to rape a little girl and kill her and then rape her after she was dead? No, that's not humane. And the thing is, the premise is, it's not like people live forever. You know what I mean? People die here. I'm not killing you. You're gonna die because you deserve it. And it's not like people assume they're gonna live forever, but they're gonna die anyway. So this is just speeds up the process. It's not like you're taking a life. It's just like you were supposed to die here. You did this stuff. Now you're gonna die here. Mm. And then also, if you have something that people are afraid of, that's why you don't see no crime in Cuba, or not a lot of crime, or the old communist countries, because the penalties are big and people are afraid of the penalties. In Cuba, I lost my $10,000 camera, and this guy comes in to give me the camera because he'd rather get $20 as a reward. He said, they make $30 a month, and he had a $10,000 camera, but if he goes to jail for 30 years, he's going to give me back my camera, right? He didn't even steal it. I forgot it behind, right? So the idea is if people are afraid of the penalty, they're going to do less crime. Like the guy in Colorado, they shot a bunch of people, and then he has this orange hair and is laughing. No, buddy, you're going to go in the elevator, pushes you down. There's certain crimes, like you said, pedophilia, but it has to be 100%. Like, you have to know, like, not beyond a reasonable doubt, without a doubt. All right, go. Second.
Okay,
Third.
so, now, like, all people in politics need to be removed and replaced, just like now.
All the people now? Yeah, okay.
Okay, so fourth.
You know what I was thinking now? Why do you want to finish it?
Well, I don't like stopping on something that's...
No, I was thinking now,
straightforward.
and I'm going to say this before I forget. Like Trump ran in, and he says, I have a mandate from the people to run the country. All right, sure, buddy. sure, buddy. But everything you said you're going to do, you're doing the opposite of. So you have a mandate because you said...
Didn't he say he was going to stop wars and now he's just starting one?
Stop wars, freedom of speech, he's going after a bunch of other stuff. Even the deporting people he's not doing. Give me 1 second. So I was thinking, now we have the technology with computers, and I actually really do think everybody should be registered on a computer. And that's, you don't even have to go necessarily to the poll, and you vote on a computer, and it has to be some kind of secure thing where they, maybe with a video camera, where where when you vote, you're seen on a video camera that you vote, but there has to be something like a vote of no confidence that I can do at home. Like Trump comes in, does everything, and you do all the citizenry. Everybody is allowed to vote, and you have a video camera, and that's you, or whatever identifier for your face, and you vote, and then if you vote no confidence, it's got to go. Because you cannot just go against everything you said you're going to do, because that's not why you got elected. You're a liar, but don't do this with the feet. So you're a liar, so you said some things, and you have to be accountable. Put it here, because I want to see it.
Okay, 5 is, wait, no, 4, sorry. 4 is no property tax should be held in place for houses.
Yeah, no property tax, I agree. That's a way of robbery that they robbed American people.
Okay.
Anywhere in the world is minimal. And try and imagine, real quick, if this is an empty piece of land, right, and it has a property tax, and then you come in and you store all the materials down to the last nail to build a house, right? Okay, you stored it on the property. It's the same property tax. Then with your own money, you go in and hire the workers to build a house, right? They build a house, right? And now the property tax is like 20 times, and you can't really afford it. Some houses in Chicago, they're worth $1 million, but they're really like a $300,000 house in Cleveland. They're really not that big, and the property tax is $35,000. For $35,000 to clear that money, maybe you have to make $100,000 for the rest of your life. You lose about 30% of taxes. You're left with about 70. You got to eat shit, buy gas and food and stuff, the bare necessities, and then you clear $35,000.
Okay.
So it's unfair, and I think everything. The reason why they lie about property tax, they say it's for schools, for police department. Yeah, have another tax for that if you want to. But the house, so whatever taxation you have, the house should be free. I own it, that's mine, it's paid up, that's mine. You know what I mean? Maybe pay for sewers or something, but not even that. Go ahead, very good idea, property tax.
Okay. So 5 people should be allowed to say whatever they want, like true free speech, but not like anti-Semitic things. Or like
What do you
things.
mean?
Well, okay. So you can say what you want to say, and you can't be canceled on stuff, but you can't say things that are just like you're targeting one race of people. You know what I mean?
Right, but see, the problem with that is if you elect somebody to be the judge of free speech, they can be corrupt,
There's
right?
no judge, the people who choose.
Well, which people?
It's like how you vote for president. You vote for the free speech.
No, you do vote for the free speech, but for example, the stupidest thing about free speech, which is actually the smartest, the Nazis wanted to have a parade in a Jewish neighborhood in New York, I think. And they hired Jewish lawyers to go to court because they wouldn't allow them to do that parade.
Okay.
No, look, let me finish. They wouldn't allow them to have a parade because it's really like a fuck you to the Jewish people. Like, why do you need to have a Nazi parade, and why do you need to have it in our neighborhood? It was. I wouldn't have allowed it, to be honest with you. But they went with Jewish lawyers, and they were allowed because it's considered a form of protesting is a form of free speech. And they won with Jewish lawyers.
It's in the First Amendment.
So the idea is, like right now with, it's actually the other way when they say everything is anti-Semitic, right? Saying things about Jewish people, okay, that's anti-Semitic. But now they say if you criticize Israel, it's anti-Semitic, which is a different country. Everything is called, if you call somebody Zionist, it's anti-Semitic. So you can, once you open the Pandora box with a little exception, then they can manipulate the exception. So freedom of speech has to be absolute. Really, words can't really hurt anybody, unless it does violence and you say kill people, I think it's good how it is if they respect it.
Okay, so 6, taxes need to be cut down and actually used for this country.
Yeah. Taxes, what rate of taxation would you have?
Well, I don't really know the rate of taxation.
Well, right now it's like 28-30%. And then they also tax you when you sell a car, when you tax you when you buy a car.
Oh, I think I'm going to car insurance in a bit.
I'm sorry?
I think I have car insurance down here. I don't know.
No. But what I'm talking about, not just car. I'm talking taxation. It's extreme. And then...
Cut it down half its percentage.
No, the problem is taxation, it brings in a lot of money, right? Because everybody works and they get everybody's money. And then they spend it on the military. And I talk to real people that know how it's going on. So let's say Nike sells me a pair of shoes. The same pair, the shoes they sell me is $30. If they sell it to the military, the same shoe is $150, because they can rob the government, right? And they have non-profits. A lot of these non-profits, so it's all bullshit to siphon money. A lot of these wars and all that stuff. So basically, it has to be accountability for the money, and it has to be fair price when they sell it. Because really, when you sell it to the government, it's the American people. But the problem is, the government misuses the money so much that everybody's confused, right? But it's actually my money and your money, right? Like this war with Israel, they're spending $1 billion a day. And that's our money for something that doesn't impact us at all. You know, they're doing it for other countries.
Okay.
So taxation has to be down, but there has to be a system where it's clear accounting and transparency. Where honestly, like if you look at Candace, when she catches and does this investigation on Charlie Kirk, a lot of people contribute. So have it all public, and then people can look over it, like where the money is spent, where the price is. Everything has to be open up for people to double check the government, because it's clear that the government doesn't do the best for the people. Go ahead.
Okay, so homeless shelters need to be constructed more, and work has to be provided for each person.
So homeless shelter what?
More homeless shelters needs to be made, and they need to have work provided for each person.
Yeah, I was thinking about that, because the homeless problem is really not a problem. You go somewhere, there's a lot of empty land, and you build this kind of communal kind of villages.
I know, that's what I said.
No, but let's finish it. So you have kind of like a jail cell, but because it's basically what you need if you're in hard times. You need to have a bed, you need to have a desk. You don't even need to have a TV. You need to have a bed, a desk. You can eat on your desk, and a toilet, right? You can have a little room with a toilet and a sink and a shower and the bed, and like a studio. That's what they need to do. And you can build a lot of those, and then you build them like a circular. Can you listen to me?
Yeah.
You can build them like a circular, and then they have a dining hall in the middle where everybody meets. You can have community centers. Really not a lot of money.
I know.
They're spending more money to keep them on the streets in tents and give them drugs. You know what I mean? But the problem with the homeless shelters is, I've talked to a lot of people that I drove, because I would give free rides to the homeless. And it was, remember that old lady that we gave her some clothes and food? She was really old, and she told me she got raped in the shelters that she was taken to. So by multiple people. So you have to have some kind of security to protect the homeless.
Okay, 8 is immigrants need to be regulated and chosen legally. Like, you can't just get in. Like, they have to secure the borders.
Secure the borders. That's the first. And then, how would you fix the problem with the immigrants that are already here?
Kick them out.
Kick them out?
If they're illegal, kick them
Yeah,
out.
but you can't, because the economy kind of depends on them.
If they're illegal, you have to kick them out.
Well, in theory, but you know what I mean.
I guess make them do a test so they can get in legally.
All the restaurants that you go in, it's full of immigrants. They're illegal, and a lot of them are hard workers.
Well, okay, well then just make them do what the legal immigrants do. Legal immigrants.
So my proposal for this is like this: immigrants, they do fake marriages for about $25,000, right? They married fakely, and we know some people.
We do?
Yeah, quite a bit. So they do a fake marriage for $25,000, which I think you pay about $10,000 at first, and then what happens? The people you marry, you have no guarantee. Stand up, because I don't like this. Stand up, please. You have no guarantee. They have no guarantee what they're gonna do 5 years from now. So maybe they find a real person they can marry, or other ones that they're drug addicts. Because who marries somebody for $25,000? And then usually they blackmail the people paying. They blackmail them, and there's really no security for the people paying $25,000 for the fake marriages. And they say, "Well, I need a car," so you gotta buy them a car. Because if not, you paid $15,000 for nothing. So it's really a bad idea. So the way I look at it, you give everybody a path to become a resident, not a citizen. And you say, okay, you pay $25,000 for a fake marriage. I'll charge you $5,000 or $8,000 for being illegal penalty, right?
That's fine. Okay.
No, but let me finish. Why do you want to rush it?
Because we have
It's fine, because we're going to do it once. So you say $8,000. You got to pay maybe $5,000 up front, and then from your wages we're gonna deduct the rest. And then you have a lot of processing fees, or you can make in $2,000-$3,000 every step you take. And try and imagine, they say 30 million illegals, right? 30 million illegals. If they all pay $8,000, what happens? It's a lot of money. How much is 30 million times 8,000? It's got to be trillions.
30 million, 100,000.
That's in the billions.
It's in the billions, you think? How many?
Probably like 100 billion.
So 8,000. So no, it's
24 million.
no, because
24 billion.
what?
No, 240 billion.
That's what we're trying to say.
What were you saying? 240 billion?
Yeah. Or it's 2 trillion.
240 billion, because a million. So 30 million, we already have a million. And 1,000 millions is a billion.
What?
1,000 millions is a billion. No, 100 million is 100 million. So 1,000 million is a billion.
1,000 million.
Yeah, so then, so if you charge them 8,000, and by the time the whole process is down, let's say you make it 12,000,
You
right?
get paid back what they paid to get into the country.
Yeah, so it's
fine.
about 240 billion, okay, to start, but you can actually make it about 500 billion by the time everything is done. On top of it, you collect taxes because they're not getting paid on the table cash, right? You collect taxes from their money, right? And now they have to make minimum wage. They get better money because a lot of them work for $5, $6, $7 an hour, which is shit. 6, 7, yeah. No, let me finish. So you collect money from their paychecks, which probably is a lot, and then also you can enforce now with the business owners. Hey, I gave everybody a path to legalized work. Now, if I catch you, I give a $10,000 penalty, right? If I catch you again, it's $50,000 penalty. If I catch you again, it's $100,000. So now these penalties with the business owners that the business owners that don't follow the rules, to where you got to hire legal people if you give everybody a chance. And also, once everybody's registered, you can know who's a criminal or not. And they have to have a job, steady job. You can put have steady job. However, it's fair, you know what I mean? Because sometimes jobs are hard, but you have to have a steady. So yeah,
Yeah, no one's without a mask.
so it would be trillions of dollars by the time you're done. Thank you.
Okay.
Very, very good, very smart. So
9.
high five.
9 is a presidential or political members need to take an oath not to be corrupt, or else they're removed from their position.
I think they're taken out, but they're liars.
Oh, well, okay. Then 10, children, under 21 should not be allowed to publicize or change their gender with surgery.
21.
Under 21. They should not be allowed, because 21 is pretty old. It's also when you are allowed to drink, so they can make their own decisions then. You cannot force
Yeah,
them.
I would say the gender reassignment is more important than drinking. So yeah, all right, that's fine.
11. The government cannot do preventive strike on other countries.
The government cannot do preemptive strike.
Well, not like that, but if they
So this is basically what you're saying, because
they can't just hit somebody because they have nuclear weapons.
yeah, but they didn't have nuclear weapons.
I know,
They went
but
in
it's
Iraq
not-
and they lied about it. They did the same thing with
I
Iran.
know, but you
They
can't.
keep saying nuclear weapons. So basically, what you want to adjust, because obviously preemptive strike is an act of war.
I guess find out if they do have nuclear
And then
weapons.
also they keep fucking around with the terminology, right? Because they say, well, it's not this, it's something else, right? Do you know what I mean? Like Clinton, when he got caught with Monica Lewinsky, he says, I did not have sexual relationships with that woman. And then when he got caught, he's like, it was just oral sex. I didn't think that was sex, right?
Even is oral sex.
Yeah, I don't know. We're not going to talk about that. But the idea is they keep fucking around with the term. Obviously, when they kidnap Maduro, it's an act of war. So every act of an aggression towards another country has to be considered an act of war. And then you go in. So every single act of aggression against another country is an act of war. And then when you go in, who can declare war? So the president cannot declare a war on its own, and it has to be voted by everybody else.
Okay. 12. So I know you think this is very, very important. I think.